our own Vice Chancellor and Dean Professor Dr. Rajesh Bahuguna from Uttaranchal University to share their experiences and expertise. With this brief introduction on what we have to offer at the 14-day National Faculty Development Program being organized by Law College Dehradun Uttaranchal University, I request Professor Dr. Rajesh Bahuguna sir to felicitate our guest for the day, Professor Dr. B.N. Pandey. Before that, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to our Honorable Chancellor, Shri Jitendra Joshi sir, to our esteemed guest for the day, Professor B.N. Pandey sir, to our head of the department, HOD ma'am, Dr. Poonam Rawat, and to all of you who've chosen to join us on this occasion. As per the tradition of Uttaranchal University, I now request the dignitaries to please join in the lighting of the lamp to mark the inaugural of the 14-day faculty development program. Sir. I request the audience seated at this auditorium today to please raise for the University Kulgeet. I now request respected Professor Dr. Rajesh Bahuguna ji, Vice Chancellor, Uttaranchal University and Dean Law College, Dehradun, to address the participants of the event and formally introduce the eminent speaker of the day, Professor Dr. B.N. Pandey, who will speak on analysis of different emerging pedagogical methodology in teaching and learning law. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Priyalakshmi. On the occasion of this 14-day National Faculty Development Program on the topic of emerging techniques of learning and teaching law in 21st century, today's chief guest and keynote speaker of this session, Professor B.N. Pandey, Honorable Chancellor of the University, Shri Jitendra Joshi ji, Principal of Law College, Dehradun, Professor Poonam Rawat, team of the FDP, Dr. Vinjamuri, Dr. Vijay Srivastava, Dr. Radheshyam, and Dr. Ajaz Ahmed, and my dear participants from Uttaranchal University and different university of the country. I extend my greetings to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my proud privilege to welcome you on the behalf of Law College Dehradun, faculty of Uttaranchal University. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe, and we all believe, that law is for the society. And the character of the society is dynamic, meaning thereby rapid changes are taking place day by day in the society. And if law has to keep pace with the society, it has to change itself according to the change in the society. Once change is taken place, obviously the change in the teaching methodology also. We all the faculty members are morally bound to adapt all these changes taken place in the society or which need to teach the law in the present scenario. So keeping this into view, Uttaranchal University decided internal quality assurance cell of the Uttaranchal University, followed by the department quality cell of Law College Dehradun, is strongly recommended that we must have one faculty development program, not less than 14 days, on emerging techniques of teaching and learning law in 21st century. I personally believe the senior professors in their classrooms with their experience of years and years, they have certainly developed their own techniques. And my dear friends, those techniques can never be obsolete. What is required? The required is to have a unique brand between latest technology and the technology which has been developed by the long experience of the professor. Keeping this into view, we have decided to invite eminent professors of the country. And very proudly, I would like to acknowledge and speak about them. So in this faculty development program, professor like Professor N.K. Chakravarti, of course the Professor B.N. Pandey, Professor Harbans Dikshit, Professor Arshal Wani Sahab, Professor M. Kumar Sahab, Professor S.D. Sharma Sahab, Professor Preeti Saxena, Professor Numani Sahab, Professor C.P. Singh Sahab, Professor Gayur Alam Sahab, Professor K. Paresaran Sahab, and of course Professor J.S. Mann. And I will also take this chance to speak with you in the due course whenever it is detailed by the board. So we have invited all them. Now, even the topics, at this point, I don't want to list out the topics, but we have intermingled the topics. You know, the latest topic, latest development in this field, as well as which was established with the long experience by the professor, so that we can be understand, and we will understand the both the techniques together. And today, just to beginning and to justify the topics, we have with us, rather we are fortunate to have with us Professor B.N. Pandey, right? And I am asked by the anchor of this, Professor Vinjamuri, to introduce. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know the introduction of Professor B.N. Pandey, who has been almost all the posts of Law Department of Banaras Hindu University, whether it is professorship, head, or dean. So his introduction is not new, at least to the legal luminary in the country. So with this, I am once again taking this privilege to welcome you, sir, on the behalf of Uttaranchal University. Ladies and gentlemen, if I am not acknowledging the participant, I hope my welcome address will be incomplete. You know why? See, initially we decided that we will have a faculty development class of 60 participants. It's an ideal class. But credit goes to this team FDP, that they have, I do not know, given so much of advertisement to this, that around 47 faculty members from Uttaranchal University, from the Law College Dehradun, they are sitting in this hall, and 44 students, I mean 44 faculty members, they have joined from the different universities, and which include Amity University, Galgotia University, Surendranath Law College, Kolkata, Symbiosis Law School International Deemed University, University of Petroleum, IIM Institute, PIFT, Gautam Buddha University, Punjab University, TSW Law College of Women, then Chinmaya Vidyapeeth of Kerala, Baba Sahib Bhimrao Ambedkar University of Lucknow, Sri Ram Swarup Memorial University, Asian Law College, Desh Bhakt University, LJ School of Law, Cotton University, University of Lucknow, a School of Law and Constitutional Study of Sobit Institute, Tirthankar Mahavir University, Royal Global University, TNB Law College of Bangalore, then Aligarh Muslim University, Career Point University of Hamirpur, Himachal Pradesh, Desh Bhakt University, TME Noida, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University, Telangana University, Barnalu Sonipat, JIS University, and of course our own Uttaranchal University. So I would like to welcome all these universities and colleges, those who have shown interest in the FDP organized by Law College Dehradun, Uttaranchal University. Welcome everyone and thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. With this, let's start the session with the talk by Professor B.N. Pandiji. So I request Professor B.N. Pandiji to please come on to the dais and deliver his talk today.
Honorable Chancellor of the University, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Bagunaji, Madam Dean, and young friends. Really, I am very much delighted to visit this university and in getting the opportunity to interact with you. And the efforts taken by this law college to hold a faculty development program is commendable. And Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, it is my request that each year this university must hold. The duration may vary. Because of the pandemic and corona situation, and there are many other constraints. But sir, every good university like Uttaranchal University should hold every year faculty development program. Friends, such programs are very beneficial. Not only beneficial, but they provide opportunity of interaction. That any issue, any problem that comes to your mind, you are free to interact with the resource persons, Honorable Vice Chancellor and Honorable Vice Chancellor, that what are your requirements, what are the impediments, and Vice Chancellor is present here. They are always willing to remove those impediments. Friends, I shall be very informed, because the list of resource persons I saw, and almost all of them, they are my friends. I visited their university, and Professor Chakravarti from Calcutta University, he has published many papers. Few articles I have reviewed in India Law Institute. So he has also written a book on research methodology and pedagogy of law teaching. So that I will not discuss, but I will discuss what he has not written. And whatever I discuss, friends, that would be based on my teaching experience of more than 45 years. Because what has been my experience, to what extent we have carried out the legacy of our great teachers and great academic jurists of the country, like Professor G.S. Sharma, P.K. Tripathi, Professor Upendra Bakshi, Professor R.K. Mishra, They have contributed tremendously. And friends, on the legal education, improvement of legal education, there is a truckload of material. 6 very big seminars. Here I will stop. Sir, about 135 issues of Indian Bar Review. They are available in Bar Council office. So immediately just after this I will talk to them. और उनका उन्होंने दाम रखा है 1,00,000। तो उसको आप एक डाक चेक भेज दीजिए उसको मंगवा। Very informative, very informative. And if you visit Delhi, they may also, I will talk to them, they can hand over to you free of cost also. So friends, Bar Council of India has organized till date 7 very serious seminars. And the proceedings of seminars, they are published in Indian Bar Review publication. That is General of Bar Council of India. Friends, my second submission is, informally, I have visited, this is my formally second visit of this law. But in between, informally, I have visited 2-3 times, because whenever I visit Delhi, Dehradun, twice I visited Dehradun as a member of various subcommittees in the Bar Council of India. I met Professor Bhaguna, and I'm keenly watching him. If he remembers our old conversation, and I do remember that whenever in the year, I don't remember exactly, but it was 2004 or 5, something like that, when Ashok Pandey was Dean and Head of Law Department, Garhwal University. He has been my student. He asked me that, sir, I sent letter, but you do not come. So may I request that you please visit Dehradun and take Viva OC examination. Students of Doon Law College. That is a good law college. This was his observation in the year early 2004 or 5. And friends, really, I was here as for 2 days as the guest of the law college. And privately, I told Professor Bhaguna that the way you are functioning, I find here a rare devotion and sincerity and dedication. Rare, something rare, something rare. And whatever is the present status of this, this law college, certainly credit goes to all of you, but certainly this all has happened under the leadership of Bhaguna. Friends, I have noticed something, and these are my own personal experiences which I am expressing. Law College Dehradun of Uttaranchal University during last more than 2 decades has emerged as a pioneer institute of legal education in the country and especially in the North India, with an excellent team of teachers and selected student body, stressing individual attention and extensive as well as intensive study, and thereby carrying further the all-important task of educational renaissance in the country, befitting the monumental efforts of the founder of this university, Sri Jitendra Joshi. That is my own observation. Friends, this statement of basic policy reflects both an ambitious goal and steady determination to attain it. And so far as my uh, brief assessment is concerned, to a great extent, your journey till date has been wonderful and you are proceeding in right direction. I have visited more than 50 institutions, all leading institutions, including all large universities. And in every large university, I have delivered lectures. And Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, I can say this Law College Dehradun is certainly better than more than 20 national law universities. Certainly better than 20 national law universities. And sir, with your efforts and supervision and encouragement, I'm sure that whenever a list of good law colleges, that is my wish, that is my desire, and that is also desire of both Honorable Chancellor and Vice Chancellor, that law college should be counted among top 10 legal institutions in the country. And friends, I visited all the universities, Pune, etc., and all the national universities. I know their weakness and strength. Their only strength, friends, is the CLAT examination. They get good students. Otherwise, they are far inferior than this college. Far inferior. Their only plus point is that they admit students through CLAT admission test. Certainly, they are very bright boys, very laborious students, very sincere students. But your contribution and journey and outcome, certainly it is nowhere less than more than 20 national law universities. That is the one positive. Friends, so far as the teaching methodology or pedagogy is concerned, in the recent COVID pandemic, which is a global phenomenon, many issues and challenges have emerged. And Harvard University, they organize 3 programs. We may also call it seminars. We can also call it symposia, etc., etc. One topic of that seminar was, in which many sitting judges and advocates were invited, that should online learning be introduced in the legal education? And if online learning is introduced in legal education, what are the preparations? What are the requirements? How to go with the challenge? Will it affect the legal profession? Will it affect the quality of education? That is again not a problem in America only, that has become a global issue, and that also concerns us. Friends, this 21st century and the problems with the global society, some commentators and scientists say that we are living in a global village. That may be description, but we are not beneficiary of living in a global village. This is a description, and they have their own logic and their own reasoning. But let us confine to the issue of this faculty development program that is this teaching methodology and pedagogy. So, but before coming to the point, we must take into account as to what are the challenges. What are the challenges? And also in the view of recent pandemic arising out of corona, and this time, our present period can be known as a time of innovation and a time of renewal of legal education. How to renew it? How to innovate? And friends, innovation and renewal. For that, important tool is teaching methodology. So one can only just predict, one can only guess. And in my estimation, one can predict that liars will have opportunities to play new and important roles in response to dramatic economics, technological, and social changes presented by new communications technologies, new biological and biotechnology research, and globalization. They will deal with integrating economies, legal and professional services, biological and computer viruses, cultural trends fostered through worldwide network of exchange, resource scarcity, global climate change, mass migration of people due to economic, political, and environmental changes. Law students and lawyers will be aided by new knowledge about the way adults learn. They will be challenged by new financial pressures on graduates and on the institutions. Friends, in this scenario, law colleges should consider how their educational mission itself could even be more closely connected to meetings, society, most pressing challenges. That is what Professor Babuna also pointed out, that law has to keep pace with the changing scenario challenges. Friends, there are two terms which are closely related: law and justice. And in the Indian context, if you just look at the preamble of the Indian Constitution, that also guarantees to each citizen justice, social, economic, political, etc., etc. And ultimately, whenever willingly or unwillingly, if any person approaches the court or any judicial forum for dispute settlement, the party which loses the case, they complain that all right, judgment is correct, but I could not get justice. And at least in the common law countries, and that is the basic difference between common law system and civil law system. That system, that is, in civil law system is based on truth, and it is duty of judiciary. Though it is not the time to discuss in detail, but just like in criminal cases, police investigate, and some of our colleagues have done their PhD on forensic science. That is good. But in India, all forensic laboratories in India, I call that police laboratory. No private laboratory. No private laboratory. If the Home Minister of the country, they direct the director that this should be the report of your laboratory accordingly, otherwise tomorrow you shall be shifted. Inquiry committee shall be. So friends, forensic science means truth science, to find out the truth. And is Indian police reliable? Do they command our confidence? Can we rely on their forensic labs? That I call publicly, that is a police lab. And all 3, 4, 5 labs are there. They are all government labs, police labs. And there also I have records and I have authentic version. That yes, they are also all investigation and their findings, they are manipulated. Now, so in the situation when even scientific methodology can be distorted, can be manipulated, do we expect justice? That is the practical issue. But theoretically, law and justice, they are twin brothers. And one problem with legal education, please think over, that is my suggestion, that in the legal education in India, we are not concerned with other countries. Justice component stands on a poor footing. Justice component stands on a poor footing. So time has come to consider as to how to strengthen this justice element in the legal education. Because friends, we are law teachers, we are law students. Our concern primarily is with the legal education. Yes, as a citizen of the country, we are also concerned with other issues, but our primacy should be given to the legal education. And I have written justice education, what and why. Legal education can transcend to justice education only if there is a very high degree of integration between education relating to matter of fact and matter of law. Matter of fact education comes from science, social science, engineering, technology, medicine, etc. On the other hand, matter of law education comes from value education in each branch of knowledge and consequently development of the system of procedure and proof. Weakness in anyone would weaken the administration of justice and ultimately damage the rule of law. So there are dual responsibility of the law colleges. Firstly, to create environment for good legal professionals to come out of the institution, and secondly, to create good atmosphere of high integration of knowledge for development of human resources to become good jurists, judges, academicians to come out of the university. Friends, then what may be the correct methodology? What may be the correct methodology? Professor Chakravarti from Calcutta and many other senior resource persons will participate, since they have also written books on this legal teaching legal methodology, etc., etc. So I will not discuss with them. I will not repeat whatever written in the books and other authors have also written. But friends, my submission on the basis of 45 years experience and practical experience of my association with BCI, because in BCI there is a CDC report, Curriculum Development Committee. Throughout year, we sit together. And we also invite not only 20-25 persons. Before we visit any place, we invite the eminent persons from, and only in February, though that issue is not important, related with the theme of this faculty development program. In the year 2013, one year LLM was introduced. But Bar Council of India has decided finally that no, Bar Council of India, this LLM on course is not good. So Bar Council has decided that LLM shall be a 2 years degree course. And we have framed the regulations. And regulations are also on the website of Bar Council. Many national universities and so-called national universities, they raised very technical question. And they have also gone to the Supreme Court. All right. So, and Supreme Court advised the Bar Council of India that before you implement it, please consult leading institutions of the country. So, about more than 70 leading institutions, including all the 24 large universities, national universities, they were invited. And they were requested that you can send, vice chancellors were requested. And total expenditure of Bar Council, including that conference, was more than 30 lakhs. Each participant was, their stay arrangement was made in 5-star hotel, etc. And deliberations took place. And ultimately, majority of the participants, they supported this view that 1 year LLM course is scrapped. Now, so that is the way of function. In the year 2019, Bar Council organized another big workshop in which about 250 law teachers, deans, and deans were requested that if you are unable to participate, please send your colleagues, nominate your colleagues. They shall be guests of the Bar Council of India from 7 states, more than 250 deans, senior teachers. They were invited, they participated, and each one of them, they were requested that yes, give your suggestion. Give your suggestion. What is your view? So all the 250 persons, they were requested, rather they were compelled that friends, this is interactive session. Whatever is your view, whatever your experiments, you give, because Bar Council wants to improve it, improve the standard of legal education, and that's why Bar Council of India has invited 250 persons from 7 states. So that is the way. So there is permanent committee that is known as Curriculum Development Committee, and there is one man, friends. Now, let me not deviate. Then coming to the main issue, friends, the teaching method adopted for LLB program should be such as to promote multidisciplinary inquiry and practical appreciation of problems. The method of teaching involves lecture, discussion, case study, mood board, and project work. An innovative feature of teaching method by the Law College should be dialectic method of mooting and debate. Dialectic method of mooting and debate. Friends, in no book on research on teaching methodology, this term dialectic method has been used. Many authors, I know, Gayud has also written many papers. And Chakravarti, who is heading this National University, Calcutta, he has published many papers in his own journal, and he has also written a book. So he presented me a copy of the book. हमने कहा कि Mr. Chakravarti, I have delivered in presence of Sir Mitra and Chief Justice of India, we have delivered lecture in your presence. You are the dean, and we discussed dialectic. Have you mentioned it anywhere? तो कुछ बोले नहीं. So friends, dialectic method is hybrid method. That is hybrid method, and far better and beneficial to both students and teacher than any known methodology. And I will explain as to what is a dialectic method. Friends, dialectic method means debating and mooting. Debating and mooting. I will explain that. Friends, this is particularly useful for multidisciplinary analysis of socio-legal problems and development of legal acumen and skill. Friends, how to implement it? Before coming to this issue, let me slightly deviate from the main theme. There is moot court paper, four practical papers in both the courses, either that is 3 years course or 5 years course, either that is general course or honors course. Friends, this moot court paper, with due apology, it is not taken very seriously with most of the institutions. There are three modes to implement this requirement of requirement of moot court, which is an independent paper. First is moot court as an independent paper. Second is moot court as a part of each paper that is included in either 3 years LLB course, 3 years honors course, 5 years course, 5 years honors course. So moot court as a component of each paper. And third mode that is popularly followed is that we prepare the students. We also organize once or twice in a semester or a year moot court. We also send our students to participate in moot court competitions organized by different universities. Friends, time has come, and dialectic method, it emphasizes that no, in each paper we can incorporate within the existing system our rules and regulations and outline. It does not require any amendment. This requires just a change in the what I call teaching methodology. Suppose that we have allotted say 5 periods per week for a paper. Maybe any paper, constitutional law, torts, etc. So 3 hours shall be devoted to classroom teaching. One probably I have forgotten to bring that. I kept it. So, friends, And this tutorial method, that is the innovation of Oxford University. Tutorial method that was invented and evolved by Oxford University. That is their innovative original content. Friends, that method is also certainly used. So what we can say, or how we can divide that? Yes, suppose we get, and friends, in order to introduce dialectic method, and dialectic method means mooting and debate. Mooting and debate. And friends, if we adopt this dialectic method of mooting and debating, it will solve all the problems. And not only that, immensely it will develop capacity of our students. They can face any challenge, not presently, but arising out in the future. Now, so how to implement it? How to implement it? Suppose we get 5 hours of 1 hour period, 5 periods per week. So 3 periods you can devote on interacting with the students, popularly what is known as lecture. 1 hour we can devote on this moot court. And friends, moot court does not mean only appearing in the court or preparing memorials, etc., etc. It includes many things. Many things. It also includes that if you distribute and friends, I saw in the meeting, and the way this lecture plan of course design is distributed, hardly there are few universities, including National University, which were honestly doing the way you are doing. Hardly they are doing in a better way than you. Friends, so moot court also means that we have distributed, we have allotted the period, we inform the students in advance that next week we will discuss this issue. Then please come prepared. So let us encourage our students, at least some one of them, to begin with, some good students. Yes, please come. You have to introduce this chapter or topic which we will discuss next week. So suppose that Mr. X and Y, both of them jointly or separately, they introduce one issue in 1 week. Then in the next week, we will ask another group of students that yes, from this and this date in the second week, we will discuss this issue. Please come prepared. You have to introduce this issue in the class. And from there, the whole discussion will take place. So friends, and tutorial method, it includes group discussion, presentation, and take home exercises to keep them engaged, और जो लड़का बहुत ध्यान नहीं देता है, उसको धीरे धीरे हल्का सा ही आप उसको एक्सरसाइज दीजिए, एक्सरसाइज तक लगा रहे, आप उसको डांटिए वाटिए मत, बाकी के लिए तो हमारे पास सांसद साहब काफी है, लेकिन उसको आप बिजी रखिए इन ए कंस्ट्रक्टिव वे, छोटा छोटा काम दीजिए और उनको इनकरेज कीजिए कि नो, this take home exercise, it will carry 5 marks and that shall be added in your examination. So that is incentive. See the radical change. Certainly, in order to get the marks, they will also take interest and they will turn their whole perspective. So I am of the considered view that element of moot court and the bar council requirement is that in case of 3 years, 12 weeks probably, in case of 5 years, 20 or 22 weeks. No, all right, that shall be there. But from the sir, this element of moot court can be introduced. My submission number one is in each and every paper as a method of classroom regular teaching. Number one. My second submission is that the requirement of moot court can also be introduced in the semester there. In the semester there. In first semester, whenever there is a gap, we will not send them directly to the court. We will send them to the RTO office. RTO office, NGO, this newspaper publication. Go and see how editors and editorial books and reporters, how they prepare their reports. Where from do they get inputs? To some of them, we will send to LIC office and many other such offices because they are first year students. They do not know much about law. So it will be great injustice to directly send them to the court of law. Because it will be a circus for them because they do not know anything about law and just persuading them to visit the court. No. They shall be sent to the court only in third year. When in first year, second year, they have some broad knowledge about the important areas of law. Friends, my last point, and while concluding this last point, I will request each one of you that in case any doubt, all of you are welcome to seek clarification from me. My experience of teaching 45 years is each one of us should try to make our lecture very interesting. Very interesting. The question is how to make it interesting. First, friends, while in the beginning of any semester, on 2 or 3 days, depending on the nature of subject, you devote on the importance of the subject. Importance of the subject in our daily life, in our social life, in our national life, and how it is affecting our whole environment. So this devotion of 2-3 lectures about the subject, what is its global perspective, etc., etc., what is the benefit, what is the loss? What is the loss? Certainly, that is the one mode of creating interest in the subject. And friends, similar patterns will be followed while introducing or start discussing any chapter of the course. You devote minimum 1 lecture or 2 lectures about the topic or chapter. What is the importance? What is the importance? So you begin with the importance of the chapter in the present era, so that the students correlates with that. Yes, it is very important to know this. We are the beneficiary, we are the loser. And while discussing this importance of any chapter of any subject, there you have to add that yes, these are the global or national changes or challenges in this field. This field means the topic, the chapter which we are going to discuss, that these are the challenges. And these are the recommendations of various committees and Supreme Court judgments. And if these judgments and committee recommendations are accepted and implemented, what will be the future? And friends, third, in that introductory itself, you also mentioned very briefly in an interesting way the evolution of the topic. Evolution of the topic. History. But briefly, just to highlight that no, the topic which is going to be discussed today are coming 3-4 days. It is of historical importance. Not only of historical importance, but it is also a question of life and death, of practical importance. If I do not take interest, I may be the loser. If I take interest, I may be beneficiary, etc., etc. My final request and submission is that you try to make your lecture interesting. Create interest of the students. And once you create interest, friends, your whole purpose is solved. Friends, all the eminent educationists who are expert of education, they say that in any education system, educational process, there are three stages. First is imparting information, gathering information, providing information to the students relating to the issue or the topic which is being discussed or which is going to be discussed in the present this week or next week. Then there is a test, inbuilt test. This is the first step. Then second step is that this supply and analysis of information, it must lead to knowledge. Knowledge in the student. And third is this knowledge must lead to wisdom. This knowledge must lead to wisdom. Friends, briefly speaking, so there are three stages: collection of information, important information, and it should be it should be imparted in such an interesting way that all our students they acquire knowledge. And if we adopt that dialectic method of debating and mooting, certainly our students they shall be wise and wiser. So there is direct connection between imparting information leading to knowledge and knowledge leading to wisdom. And if our students get wisdom, then they can apply in any situation, in a hypothetical situation also. So friends, this teaching methodology, we have not to worry about classical teaching methodology. Each teacher is sovereign. You are free to decide how to make your lecture interesting, which encourage students to take interest in the classroom, and either by debate, by moot court, by class presentation, by encouraging some of the good students that yes, you come prepared and introduce this issue, which shall be discussed in the third week, fourth week, etc., etc. So, briefly, that is my brief submission. And if any one of you, the house is open for discussion.
Greetings to all. I would take this opportunity to propose a brief vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would extend my heartfelt gratitude to the chief guest and keynote speaker of the inaugural session of 14 Days FDP, Professor B.N. Pandey sir, for taking time out of his busy schedule to enlighten the participants on a topic that has become one of the challenging issues during pandemic. All the participants learned a lot from his immense pool of knowledge and experience. It's indeed an enriching experience for all of us. Thank you, sir. My heartily thanks to Honorable Chancellor of the Uttarakhand University, Shri Jitendra Joshi ji, for his unconditional support and encouragement. Thank you, sir. I would also like to thank Professor Dr. Rajesh Bahuna, Dean Law College Dehradun, and officiating Vice Chancellor of Uttaranchal University for guiding us in the course of organizing this FDP. Thank you, sir. My thanks to all the participants from different universities and colleges without the participation of whom this initiative and learning experience would have been incomplete. And last but not the least, my special thanks and blessings to the organizing team of FDP. That includes Dr. Vijay Srivastava, Dr. Lakshmi Priya, Dr. Radhesham Jha, and Dr. Azaz Ahmed. Thank you all. Thank you. That's end of the session. Thank you.